Hello and welcome everyone. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a mod slash branch showcase from Murk. This is a part of the netplay branch for Perfect Dark. Murk has been putting a lot of time and effort into getting the netplay branch working once more, on top of like fixing a bunch of things that it had, like the lack of bots, the desyncs, the crashes, stuff like that. Murk has been working very hard on this, and other things as well that I'll be showcasing today is some of the more fun options. So far there's been a few new things that's been added, to a point that there's a whole new essentially engine that can run with like Lua scripting and stuff like that. So there is a ton more that can be done with the PC port now. This is still like obviously a work in progress. There's still things that clearly will be fixed up. This is still fairly early on, but the fact that it is running this well currently is impressive on its own. So there's been a bunch of new stuff, bunch of changes. I'll go through a few campaign levels, a few multiplayer levels, stuff like that. And I'll keep providing more video showcases as well on my YouTube on some of the progress updates and where we currently are sitting with the netplay server. Hopefully I sound alright today. Hopefully I'm not too loud. Hopefully game's not too loud. I'll go over some stuff briefly from what I know, because I've been helping come up with ideas and play testing and stuff like that. So currently, there is, for the combat simulator, for like netplay and stuff, we have the ability to go in, you can do local and online, you can host games, you can join games, and there's even a server browser. Currently the browser isn't going to show up here. It's currently down just so when we have a more stable, like finalized stable branch, then we can start initiating the server. The server does exist. We have been playing on it off and on, but right now it's just not on here, but it will be. We already have that up and running. Hosting games are very easy. You can name them, you can put max players, there you can even have passwords, there's even a spectator mode. There's a bunch of different things that have been added. So like you can spectate, there's going to be stuff like kill cams, there's currently like a kill feed, and a bunch of other stuff as well. So like let's say I start a game, you go in here. Also something cool as well, it has been merged with the all-in-one branch. So we have options from everything up until the most recent update that may go out for all-in-one at some point. So we have a bunch of stuff going on. We have custom weapon presets. So now you can have a random preset. So instead of it just being having to pick, like, if let's say you like doing the preset weapons, you can now just automatically have a randomized preset of its own. And then for as well, we have custom presets. So now we can finally make our own loadouts and stuff. So like let's say I want to do, like we're doing a tournament or something, and we want to have it where it's like certain weapons can't use certain extra abilities or stuff like secondary functions. You can go in, and let's say I pick the laptop gun, I can now select it has both modes, the only primary or only secondary, which is really, really cool. This has been something I've always wanted to see, so I'm very happy to see that, like, not only do we have a custom loadout preset tab that we can even save, stuff like that. So, for like example here, you can use that. If I go back into custom, it's saved. You can even rename it, delete it, whatever you want to do with it. It's really cool having this ability, and I think if we ever have tournaments in the future, this is a wonderful way to have everyone up to snuff and not have to like painstakingly set everything up slowly. So that's really cool. I'll showcase a little bit more of that later on. I kind of just want to show off the netplay side first, and then we can get into more of the specifics for like modes and stuff added. So there's been some new stuff added. I'll go through it later on, but some of this stuff is meant for like tournaments, casual play, just for fun, silly things. So there's stuff like controllers only. That's like if there's, let's say there's a controller only tournament or a mouse and keyboard only tournament, we can have it set up that way now. We have stuff we're working on is just like different modes altogether. I'll show off GoldenEye style in a bit, because that's pretty fun on its own. Hey, welcome in, Murk. Nothing too much yet. I was just kind of going through the features that have been added, what's going on, and like a few other things. I haven't gotten into any levels yet. Essentially just showing off this multiplayer menu. I won't do any, as I said to them, I won't be doing any net play tonight, obviously. But I did want to show off where we're currently sitting. But yeah, also welcome in, Grim, good seeing ya. But yeah, there's a bunch of new stuff also as well. When you load into your game now, I can't do it here because there's a thing that's going on right now for this. But when you load in, when you're first going to that animation where you're logging in as Joanna, you're actually your combat simulator skin now, which is really cool. But yeah, thankfully this as well is if you don't feel like playing the combat sim and show off the browser. There it is. Did no work. Yeah, that's what I had said earlier. I was like, I figured it's not gonna work until like a later point, but it is in the works. We do have it. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff for this. There's gonna be a bunch of new features as well. If you're interested, I'll say it right off the bat now. We have a Discord. Murk may be able to. We all believe. If you're interested, Murk may be able to post a Discord link for me. But we currently have a Discord that you can put in bugs, feature requests, stuff like that. And you can kind of see updated features being added in real time and things that may not work. There's been a ton of stuff being worked on in the last like few weeks. Yeah, for that I'll go back to that in a bit, but I want to show up another menu. Obviously a lot of this stuff will be changed. There's a lot of things that may be tweaked, changed around, fixed up, you name it. And some of this stuff right now is just put in the cheats menu for gameplay. So we have our GoldenEye style here, a wireframe, and a mirror mode. First off, I'll be showing off the most interesting thing out of this, which is mirror mode. Currently it is the most playable. Like, these are all playable. I'd probably say the wireframe's the most playable. But like, these are all playable, but some still need just a little bit more tweaking. So this is just a work in progress. So I'll be showcasing like a few levels with them. Got yours. Already drafting up a feature request for nude mod. I made the joke that there should be jiggle physics. Something wild is because the whole scripting and stuff, Murk can go in more detail with this. The fact that the whole scripting and stuff like that's completely changed now is insane. It's no longer like, it still technically uses like action blocks, but it uses like Lua scripting and stuff now. I personally don't fully know what that means, but what I do know is it's way more accessible than anything we've currently or previously had when it comes to modding. We may even get to a point that we can just have Similar to GZ Doom, where you just drag and drop stuff onto the EXE and it just loads new stuff. The sky is quite literally the limit now for Perfect Dark modding once this is all said and done. So we'll go mirror mode first. There's going to be some visual glitches. Obviously, there's going to be some stuff that may not properly work. That's fine, that's fully expected. But I wanted to be able to show off how far it is currently. So right now, let's go into this. So, mirror mode does exactly what it's called. It mirrors the entire game. Now, there is some things that need fixed, but it's, for the most part, fully working, with some caveats. But it's really impressive. The first thing you'll clearly see is just the skybox is a little freaky, specifically with these levels with the stars. So we're still trying to figure out what that is. But there's some extra cool things that have been worked on, stuff that the normal Perfect Dark branch doesn't even have fixed, or will have fixed. And thankfully, some of these features and fixes may go into the actual normal branch of the PC port too, which is awesome. Mirror mode. Some 2D elements fail to render mirrored, and scripted player movement is not mirrored either. Skybox is a bit broken, but mostly playable with 1 or 2 soft locks. Yeah, the main soft lock that I can think of coming to mind would be level 3 extraction when you do the little walk-in cutscene. When you talk to Cassandra. Other than that, like, it's mostly doable. As you can see here, normally we'd go this way. Now the entire game's just been mirrored. This had been throwing me off so hard because I have this game down like muscle memory. Like, I can quite literally, like, count the steps between, like, where entrances are and, like, where rooms connect and shit like that. And this throws me off so hard because I'll start walking around the other way. And you'll definitely be seeing me in these demo levels, walking the opposite way sometimes. Especially this level. This level throws you off because, like, if you come this way, it looks normal to an extent. Like, yeah, that's out of the way, but, like, it'll throw you off. It'll throw you off really good. Suddenly Twilight Princess Wii. Yeah. Like, speaking of Twilight Princess for the Wii, that PC port, Dusk, that thing's really cool. I'd been planning on streaming the Wii U version for some time now. It was actually why I originally got, like, a good splitter and stuff so I can stream it. And then Dusk just shadow drops out of nowhere. So I'm going to be playing that in the future as well. Plus, watching TH play through Ocarina of Time kind of really sparked that interest in me again. But yeah, for the most part, things work perfectly fine in mirrored mode. One caveat is if you grab objects, your inputs mirror, which is kind of interesting, but that is one thing that'll be fixed. And then there's just some things like Murk had mentioned, like just graphical things that need, like, touched up on. This won't be a full campaign tonight. This will probably be like 3 to 5 levels, but just a showcase. The thing I'm way more excited to show off too is the wireframe mode. It is personally my favorite way to play through Perfect Dark, but it was locked to exclusively, like, 1964's emulator. I think it was Jabu's emulator on top of that. But it had a really rough frame rate and stuff like that, so it was kind of hard to, like, either stream or, like, just play with because it was so laggy. But now, thanks to Murk, we have a ability to play in wireframe mode. And not only that, you can customize the coloring of the wireframe itself the background, and the thickness. Still waiting on an actual changelog or definition of what dusk does. Yeah, agreed. Like, they didn't really... It's just kind of like, look, here it is. It's like, oh, what's it do? Things. Cool. I'm excited either way, but, like... I wish there was something a little more for, like, the public.
I'm logging on now.
I enjoy in the Discord watching YouTube videos posted on the already existing GitHub or website. Yeah.
I'm in.
Because, like, from what I've seen, the trailer for YouTube doesn't even show off everything it's capable of. Like, it's really impressive. But yeah, we probably will get to a point now with this, that we can have our own version of Dusk, essentially. There's so many options. Like, the sky is the limit at this point. So it's genuinely an amazing thing that kind of just has been being worked on in the background. And then as progress keeps going on too, I'll be documenting more and more. I'll have new stuff on the YouTube as well. I'd planned on releasing a few more YouTube videos like a few days ago, but we have been like hard at work getting new things tested and making sure that like they're all functional. But yeah, it was really awesome, essentially being the first people ever to complete a challenge through the netplay, through the PC port netplay. To my knowledge, it's never been done, just because of the fact we've never had working bots, working like functional weapons. Like, I believe the proximity mine works in full now. The Farsight works, the Super Dragon and stuff like that, they all work. There's still some things that need fixed, but like, for the most part, they are way more functional than they had been ever. So, something cool as well is even the cutscenes are mirrored. There's a lot more back-end changes to this build of PD. Things like modern rendering techniques and actual GPU rendering. Yeah, that too. So it's no longer running off of like CPU. It's actual like GPU rendering now, which is like way better. Can't begin to state how much this mirror mode throws me off. I can't wait to do like a playthrough with this. And by the way, this does it for everything in the game. What's cool though is when you're in the main menu in the main Carrington Institute like hub, any of these effects are not there. So if you have mirror mode on, it's not in the main menu. If you have wireframe mode, it's not on the main menu, which is amazing. Personally, for me, I'm really good at reading the messed up text that the wireframe mode introduces, but obviously that's not a great thing for people to read when like you're streaming and stuff like that. So thankfully Murk has gone through and made it that the menus in wireframe mode show up properly. Imagine 4-player co-op mirror mode. I know, right? Imagine 8-player co-op mirror mode. One caveat to this is one thing to note here, because I'll make sure I try to like document bugs that are known right now and stuff too, is this. So when you go into like cam spies or picking up like moving crates, your controls are reversed in mirror mode. So like if I press right, I'm going like left and vice versa. And then same for turning as well. But obviously that's going to be something that's going to be fixed. But it is cool just to note and see how far this comes. Also, for the stream's sake, I have this game windowed. Because if you full screen the PC port, and it's just any PC port in general for Perfect Dark, there's very nasty graphical issues in this game. For some reason, OBS just does not like it. So I have it windowed, so if it looks a little stretched, like the view model's stretched because I made it that way. But in case like the actual window looks a little stretched, that's why. Mirror mode essentially literally flips the 3D world when mirror mode is activated. I have to actually reverse your controls. That's what I was thinking.
Come here.
But that makes sense why the when you pause it unmirrors.
A lot of power.
I haven't seen you before.
Pull the plug on that now.
Please,
But this is such a cool way to experience like Perfect Dark again. This is the power of like what PC ports can have. I need to mirror the frame buffer. Interesting. But yeah, like genuinely for anyone who has like a lot of knowledge when it comes to Perfect Dark stuff, I fully recommend trying this mirror mode. Because like it will throw you off. Like I have so much muscle memory from this game. I've been playing it since I was probably 5. And the fact that like I'm so like attuned to exactly where to turn, where exactly guards will be and stuff like that, and it's like throwing me off because I'm not used to them being on the other side. It's a wild experience.
help! Help! She's got a gun.
Wait, that would be sick if it fixes all that. Recently as well, Murk has been able to figure out exactly what was causing bots to desync. And it was 2 things. It was one, the Y coordinates of bots. So essentially when they go up and down, it wasn't being tracked properly. And also whenever they'd collect a shield, anyone on the client side wouldn't see that shield be collected. So if they died by the host or like died just in general, they wouldn't see that. Did I complete this? Put down experiments. I think this is the last one. Oh, it's already throwing me off. So I got these. But yeah, hey, welcome in, TH. But yeah, once this fully gets like polished, worked on, and like pushed out fully, I'll be doing a few streams. Told you I've been cooking. I'll be doing a few streams documenting and showing off each function and stuff, because like there's even more things coming as well. So like this isn't just like everything you see here is what it's gonna be. It's gonna be way more. Go get everything else. Experimental technology. I did not get the night vision. Hooking up mirrors. But yeah, even the multiplayer is accessible in this way. So if you're interested in doing multiplayer stuff, challenges, you name it, it's available. Speed up this. I may end up skipping this section to show off some of the other stuff. Yeah, I may as well. Let me go into another level with mirrored, and then I'll show off the wireframe. Let's see, what would be a good level for mirrored? Carringtonville is pretty fun. I'll do a special agent for this.
Got to be quick, or they'll kill the negotiator.
When I was testing this and like playing around with it, it messed me up. It messed me up hard. It took me a bit when I was trying to like type on keyboards and do stuff normally. My brain was like flipping my my memories of stuff. So it was like I kept having to recorrect myself because I'm like, well, fuck, I gotta remember the game like backwards, like mirrored. Stimulant sync is 99% complete. There's one or two minor visual bugs. Heads don't stop bobbing when punched, but I wager is very playable with online challenges. Should be possible. Yeah, plus at some point too, we may have working co-op, as we were talking earlier. Just the fact that like not only is the multiplayer, but the challenge is possible too is just insane. What do you say that? As you can see here, it's just wild seeing everything flip. I think the thing that throws you off the most is when you walk down these hallways, like these specific corridors. Another thing as well, another bug is currently stuff like this lock-on is currently broken because the lock-on's still technically registering the normal area. So like when I aim here, it's technically aiming over here. But obviously that's also going to be fixed up too. But it is nice to just note that that is still a thing currently in this.
Target sighted. Coming. We've got her.
Wind generator back online. I'll get power to the lower basements.
I'll read that in just a second. Here, let me see it. Let's see. I've got co-op syncing almost completely. I'm working through action block syncing, objectives, and triggers using action blocks. Either don't work or crash, but a client can solely complete the on agent with no lost intervention. Yeah, that's sick. When Cassandra activates the alarm, it crashes the client. I'll deal with you, Crash.
Here's where I must be holding Daniel.
There's a few other things, very minor things in the mirror mode that I've discovered when playtesting it and stuff, which is Mr. Blonde in CI Defense will kind of spawn where Carrington normally sits at. Not fully sure why that is, but like that's where they'll just appear.
Sir, are you injured?
So now that I've shown that off, I'm gonna try and see. Let me know if this ends up looking funky. I'm gonna put on wireframe mode. This is honestly a unbelievably cool feature. This is one of my favorite things that have been incorporated. So what this does is it takes everything and obviously it wireframes it, but it still has its vertice shading and everything like that from the actual models and stuff. So you can see here. And it's really cool too because you can see when stuff in cutscenes happen, when enemies spawn in that normally you wouldn't be able to see behind like a wall, stuff like that. And I think this is going to be a major thing for like potential speedrunning stuff too.
No signs of conflict, no spent ammo cases or bullet holes.
But there ought to be a rear guard at least. It makes no sense.
And some awesome stuff as well is you can completely customize your wireframe too. So let's say like this is too thin. I can go into here and then put and now all the wireframes can be as thick as you want up until 16.0, which is really cool. Like you're able to experience the game fully, seeing things that you may not normally have seen. You can see when the game decides to load stuff in real time, which is also really cool. You can see the cheese with ease. And it still works with like the IR functions and stuff like that. Because normally the IR scanner breaks with the wireframe, but this looks just perfect. Like you can see them here. And even when they disappear, you can still see that they disappear. This is genuinely really sick, TH. I love this. I used to play Perfect Dark for years through wireframe because I was so used to just playing and speedrunning the game. I know, right? It looks so sick. Yeah, like this looks beautiful. I love the way this looks. And then I'll show off the extra coloring details and stuff in like the next level and stuff, just because this one looks so cool. But yeah, if you're ever playing through and you want to do like wireframe, but you think like the background coloring is too bright or too dark, you can change it as well. So an issue I had when it came to the original wireframing is when the background colors are removed, some levels still have an obnoxious coloring to them. Carrington Institute, Villa, and a few others have like really bright backgrounds that you just cannot get rid of. And thankfully, Murk was able to remove all of those backgrounds too. And if it turns out that it's like, hey, this may be like a bit too dark and stuff like that, you can just straight up change the backgrounds. So you can either have them as bright or dark as you want. They all run right off of RGB.
This will help us to get around the ship quicker.
Always features and more work on Combat Sim 2, yeah. But it's so cool just seeing stuff like not only load pretty fast, like just watching it load in real time, just seeing like all the other cool stuff. And then I'll show off an extra mode after this. It's still a work in progress, but this was just kind of really cool that I had requested added in, which is where there's no room calling, which means up to 60 rooms, I believe, loads in at once. So you can, as long as like the level's big enough, you're able to view essentially everything in the level. And it's really sick because like there's things like cutscene assets, parts where like levels collide with each other geometry wise, like Skedar Ruins. You can see exactly where the geometry meets up with each other and stuff.
Here, take the gun. Keep those skin out of my back while I'm working. Hey, what's the dude?
Something cool as well is the Farsight threat detector as well still works in wireframe mode. You can actually use it to bypass the 60 room limit too. So if you're in an area that like has run out of rooms, and which it could be fixed, yeah, it can be patched eventually. It's just a wonderful little workaround. Like you can see, like this, you could see exactly where like this whole area like goes up to, which is really sick because normally you can't see this. And then there's two lights down there, and then I believe there's a light way far up that lights this entire area, which you would never really see because it's just so hard to like reach like the actual limit of it without being like too dark and stuff like that. I'll load up a few other instances of cool stuff too, because there's actually some neat things that are in the background that you would never really expect to see in wireframe. For example, there's some level assets that are permanently loaded in at all times, but you never see them because obviously there's walls. And it's really specific too. I'll show off Area 51 next. Let's show off that example. But yeah, some things that you would never realize are just completely loaded in at all times is stuff like this. The UFO. I'm gonna potentially just sit here and take damage. But yeah, the UFO is permanently loaded in to the game at like all times. It's really interesting that they designed it that way. But yeah, Chicago's another thing. Chicago has the fence that you jump over that has the little ripple effects. That's always loaded in. And there's another area I remembered last night, but I can't remember exactly what it is right now. I think it's like the attack ship in Carrington Institute. Yeah, it's wild. It's the entire game, the entire level is just loaded at once. It's really impressive.
Intruder alert!
That smell. Oil. I smelled that
Yeah,
in
this
your house.
looks so beautiful. It's something's really unique about just seeing a game running in wireframes. But like, let's say you're going through here. I actually got to pause this so I can pull up the example I'm going to use. Let's say, for example, like you just want to have it single colored. You don't feel like having it be like this, and you wanted a specific color. You can just go right in, put out your wireframe text again, wireframe wire, and then put it in any RGB format you want. So now you can see I've got like a light gray, And you'll see it more once I back out of this. But it goes even farther than that. So if I want the background changed, I can just go in to this. You'll see that once I exit this out. And then obviously I've shown the thickness before. So I'll put thick 2. And now everything is exactly one form of color. And you're just able to see like the exact lighting that you want. Personally, I really like this because it makes it easier sometimes for recording or streaming to have it just a certain color. And then I believe you can just have that toggle to disable at any time too. And something as well is if there's a certain coloring scheme that you like, you'll be able to save it as well. So if you go in like /wireframe save, it'll save it to your ini file, which is really, really cool. Another thing I'll show off, this may not end up making it into the full final thing, but it could. I'd love to see it, is the no room calling, which is what we were talking about earlier. And this will let you do stuff like being able to see everything up until 60 rooms. Which is really, really cool. Let me get some better showcases of rooms just real quick. Let's say Chicago. Obviously, these aren't the initial rooms that load in, so they actually won't appear. But you can just see essentially the entire level right here. And this also doubles down for multiplayer too. So if I go in and I pick something like I think what's the small map that loads everything. It's like, I think it's Area 52 is one of them. I think like Area 52. So yeah, it'll load essentially everything. And what's really awesome is you'll be able to see bots move in real time as well. So if you wanted to like sit and analyze them, you can. So like, let's say I'm gonna put on just like a dark sim, and I'm just gonna let it obliterate me. If I was to go into, let's say, facility. Of course, I load into one spot that doesn't have the room loaded in. But you can see in real time the sim walking around. And it's really cool if you just want to observe how they work. Like, you can see him running around in real time. Oh, he just died to the laptop gun. But you can see him through there. He's running through that room. Now he's going to run back for his shield. But yeah, it's really, really cool just being able to see this stuff loaded in real time. Murk, how do you exactly go back to the normal wireframe coloring? Another thing I'll show off that's really cool as well. It won't show the full level here, unfortunately, through the 60 rooms. But some stuff that's cool is you can see when they're cloaked. You can see exactly how the cloaking feature is. Ah, you don't? Okay. But you can also see the skybox moving alongside you. So when you're moving, that whole thing moves along with you. It's really cool how it works. And then something cool as well is you can see stuff that's only meant to be seen in cutscenes, like this whole little area over here. So what this is, that's the initial ship that you land in. That's the interior of the ship. And you would never see it. You can actually see it in game too, but you have to know to look over here and pull out something like the far sight and zoom all the way in. So stuff like that, you can see where cutscene assets are meant or saved in like airbase, or not airbase, Air Force One, and other things like that. Yeah, it's genuinely really, really cool. And now we got everyone's fan favorite mode, GoldenEye mode. This is essentially Timu GoldenEye. It is a near one-to-one recreation of GoldenEye's entire gameplay, and I mean that literally. What would be a good level? I'm gonna do Carrington Institute. I'm gonna do it special agent. So, as you can see, first off, this lovely menu, this lovely health bar, very, very GoldenEye.
Will really help me out.
But there's a lot more that goes in just than that. There is invincibility frames when you take damage. There is no secondary functions. You can't do your middle crouch. You just go full crouch like in GoldenEye. Every weapon has a GoldenEye reload, including the shotgun. So even the shotgun fully reloads all 9 rounds in one reload. You can't jump off ledges anymore. And there's a few other things that are under the hood too. I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. The Magnum is now usable. Oh yeah, lean. Got the instantaneous leans too.
Go carefully. The hostages are counting on me.
Looked like GE to me. There's a few things that still need tweaked. Oh yeah, also, you can't disable people anymore. First off, your melee no longer, you can no longer toggle disable. But second off, you can't incapacitate people. So normally if you like punch them enough times, normally they'll do like ooh, ooh, ooh when you hit them. Well, a bad example, I guess. Normally he's supposed to not do that. But well, he's just still doing it. I just shot him in the head. Okay, there we go. The incapacitation just does not exist anymore. So whenever you knock somebody out with a melee, you just straight up like kill them, except for him apparently. So that's been removed. I'm trying to think what else is in here. Oh yeah, when you crouch, you no longer get that increased accuracy. It's always just the default accuracy.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks for coming back for me, Joanna.
They do have iframes.
Thanks.
Yeah, so this mode was originally meant for multiplayer only, and then I was like, you know what, it'd be kind of fun just to have this as like a single player option too. So this project expanded from just having like really high quality netplay to both being able to do net play, single player, and co-op. But yeah, the enemies also have iframes. So like, let's say I'm shooting, it also pauses your shots when you take damage, which is really cool. And it's also very cursed playing this game this way, because there's some things that need fixed, obviously, but this mode isn't meant to fully be like compatible with everything. This is just a fun little extra. So there is going to be some stuff like Mayan SOS is incompletable because you need to jump down the ledge, and there's a few other areas that require ledge jumping that currently is not implemented, which it may be. Have a beta by tonight. Ooh, nice. But yeah, there's so much extra stuff. Let me do another good level. Do Area 51.
What the?
There's currently some bug stuff that needs to be fixed. The shotgun, when it hits somebody, it only takes an effect of the first pellet, because obviously there's invincibility frames once you take damage. That will be increased and fixed. The tranquilizer doesn't stun anyone, obviously, with no dizzy effect anymore, and a few other things that just need tweaked. Also, here's a good example too. Even stuff like ladders will kind of just get you stuck because there's no way to go down ledges. But obviously that stuff will be fixed up. But it's really cool just seeing how much of this stuff is like playable, even if it's not fully like fully bug fixed and stuff like that. The fact that we're able to get it running in this state is impressive. Some weapons see increased damage, the watch is useless, reapage is useless. Yeah, reapage, the grinder mode on the Reaper does an extremely tiny amount of damage, to a point that like enemies may as well be unkillable. But obviously a lot of that will be fixed later on. Do another GoldenEye one. Oh, what could be good? Do data extraction. Oh yeah, as well, your HUD for where your weapon reticle is gone in GoldenEye mode. The only way that you're able to see is when you aim down sights.
Understood.
Let's see if I can do a lean. There's a lot more cool stuff, but we need 2 people, yeah. There's also some more graphical stuff that gets fixed as well. Like, we're currently working on fixing up the reflective metal on the surfaces when it's completely black. Normally, even in the base port, there's always been an issue getting that fixed. So thankfully, that's getting tweaked and worked on. And then there's now one of Graz's favorite things is when you look at lights, your weapon model goes over it. It's no longer like the weapon actually obscures it. Oh god, I'm gonna have to line this shot up. There we go. But yeah, there is a ton of different things in the works for this.
Come here. Oh my
Let me
god.
pull out the shotgun so I can show off how fun that is now. Shotgun's finally not completely useless. One thing I want to see as well for this GoldenEye mode is the removal of the hand models, except for like the pistols. But as you can see here, it only does the first pellet. But when you reload, it reloads all 9 shots, which is amazing. Yeah, agreed. There is one visual glitch with the shotgun cock animation too, and it's when you take damage. It'll kind of like break a bit. The animation will break a little. Oh, I threw it in the wrong spot. Oops.
We meet again, girl.
Can't leave any bodyguards standing.
Don't keep the jump ship waiting. Get back to
Yeah, it's been an awesome time, like just watching this whole thing grow.
Going somewhere.
Something I can do for you, old woman.
Return our sapient
And there's still tons of other stuff planned on being added too, which is really awesome. But even at right now, it's still just really, really cool. One last thing I'll show off for the solo stuff is the Lewis scripting stuff. So obviously right now this is just very, very early on stuff. There's a lot of issues when it comes to it, and generally very, very bare bones at the moment, just because we personally don't really do too much stuff with this, but it unlocks the ability for so many more people to be able to work with this. So if you go into the Lua director, which is now a part of the menus, you can now do a bunch of different stuff. Obviously, this entirely depends on whoever decides to make stuff for this, whoever decides to add their own features and things, but these are just very basic test options. So I can give everyone a shield. You can alert all. Some of these still need to be fixed a bit. You can make everyone do like a sneeze animation or like a recoil animation. You could turn everyone into Skedar. Very broken though, but it's still a nice concept.
The doors are closed.
Apparently they didn't like that. But there is a ton of shit possible. But I kid you not, with this, most of the work yet, move focus to getting combat sim working. Yeah, exactly, understandable. Keep in mind too, with this Lewis scripting stuff, we could straight up have a racing game in Perfect Dark now. It would be fully possible to add new modes, new abilities, new things that like the action blocks and the GoldenEye editor could never touch. It's impressive how much you can do in it, but with this, like, the sky is literally the limit. And then also, I won't show it off here, but Become a Cube essentially lets you have recam but you have to reload the game every time you use it right now, just because work's been on other things. But yeah, generally awesome shit. I'll do a few of the combat sim stuff just to kind of show off what's possible. Grab the EXE from the server. I did. Let's do that just for the fun of it. Oops, so give me a sec. Also, by the way, this won't be an extremely long stream or anything like that. I just thought it was going to be really cool just to showcase some of this stuff in progress. And I feel like being able to show it off in real time is a lot cooler than showing off like 30 seconds to like 3 minutes of snippets on YouTube. I'll show off some server browser, okay. Yeah, still doesn't appear. But what's really cool is for stuff like this is also going to be worked on fuller. Refresh. Oh, there it is. Murk test. Here's some stuff as well. If you have a specific server or player's connection that you really like, you can add it to your favorites tab. You can view details, stuff like that. And if you are a client, you get to see what the host is working with. It's no longer just staring at a screen waiting for the game to commence. So you can see in real time this being worked on. And also, me and Murk are kind of like the farthest apart frame or connection. So it's been nice testing to see how functional the input delay actually is. And for what it's worth, this feels pretty good. You can hear the visual delay and see some of the delay stuff, but it's not like unbelievably detrimental. And it's come a long way. At one point, like, it was so buggy. Sims would freak out. They do little spins. And all kinds of other funny shit. But the fact that we've come this far already means that, like, we're only going to improve from here. But obviously these are just all set on like Meat Sim. They're not going to be challenging in the slightest. It's cool just seeing. Yeah, it feels great. Like, there's obviously a little bit of like delay. Also, I think it crashed. Yep, it crashed. All right, I'm gonna close this out real quick. But yeah, that's a more recent bug that's been introduced, I think, in like the last day. But yeah, up until now, that hasn't really been an issue, but obviously it can get fixed. Like, we were able to go so far from where it already was. It's straight up, like, unplayable. Like, you literally could not play with bots, most weapons, anything. And it was, like, when Murk first got it working, it only worked for Felicity. So it's come such a massive way. Something I'd like to note as well is at some point we may have where multiple instances of Perfect Dark can run on the computer at the same time with different controllers. Raph, a good community member in the Perfect Dark community, he was telling us about like how he sets up like a really high res instance of Perfect Dark and then like splits out each screen to different monitors so him and his friends can play. But I think it would be really cool if we can just have like local client host stuff, like host right on the same computer, and have just multiple instances so everyone just gets a full screen. Felicity and everyone T-pose a span at 1 billion miles per hour. Yeah, I wonder if I still have that video somewhere. That video was really, really funny. I got a good, like, crack out of that. Here we go. This shit had me, like, wheezing when I saw what was going on. But at one point, this was the state of this game. Also, this has been both tested for 4x3 and 16x9. Murk primarily tests in 4x3, and I test in 16x9. So the HUD works out for anyone picking any form of resolution format. First version of Sims, yeah. They still just spin. They wouldn't do anything else but spin. I'm trying to think, is there anything else worth noting? There's been a bunch of under the hood stuff. I personally don't know everything that's been done. There's been engine changes, that's like fixed optimization, GPU changes, so it now runs on GPU instead of CPU, which is a major improvement. Obviously stuff in the combat sims have been worked on. When you select simulants, in the future, you'll be able to rename these. But right now, they just have a predetermined name for testing, and that way you can see it properly come up in the kill feed. But when you select it, honestly, I think it should be a toggle Murk. So you have like the add sims, and then like it should be like a toggle that like you can randomize the names and stuff. Right now, obviously you can see here, there is different names for them. This will be able to be renamed and stuff in the future, but this is just a nice little introduction to randomization. Characters are random too. So if I go into here, they're all entirely different. So they're no longer just the same ones over and over and over. And then with the random preset, it's now these whole presets are completely random too, which is really awesome. Personally, while I like doing the random and custom stuff, sometimes I like just to do these, and I was like, oh, man, I really want to see like these get utilized more, because most times people are just going to throw these to a side to make their own custom. So now that the fact that we have a random preset mode is just really, really awesome. Your player thing is always loaded in, so you don't have to worry about loading in your own multiplayer setup every time, which is really cool. What else is there? There's going to be an option that lets you just do complete random. So it could be a dark sim, or it could be like a normal, like turtle sim. So it can just be completely random. Murk, something as well I think would be worth noting is how there's like auto random at start and stuff. Maybe you could do that for here too. Like auto random at start and stuff like that. And then you can even obviously do all this stuff in here too. GoldenEye style, which turns it into GoldenEye mode. I'll show the case that. Let me do... Wait, no, not Villa. That'll be a good little level. You know what, let's do, Stack. I was going to show off Stack. But this is a rendition made by Rec that's been ported to the all-in-one branch. Thanks to, like, Jonaru and Atari Dude and Raph and everyone who has contributed. So now, not only is the netplay branch able to just play with just base Perfect Dark, it's now able to play with nearly the entirety of Perfect Dark and GoldenEye's history. Let's do that GoldenEye mode setup. And obviously the bots are going to be fairly, like, easy. It's very satisfying that the crossbow just reloads instantly now. So much nicer. Ooh, nice. But, yeah, I think that's generally it for everything that's currently been done. If you're interested, there is a server, Discord server that can be added, or like you can have features and bugs added to it as well. And then there's also a download inside the Discord server too for this netplay branch. We're going to try to have things worked on as well, like the shield in GoldenEye mode, so it's more accurate to GoldenEye. There's going to be the removal of this reticle sound when aiming with the crossbow. And I think something worth noting as well would be removing the footsteps. This is a terrible loadout for GoldenEye mode showcase. But as you can see here, you can't drop down. So it's very, very faithful to GoldenEye. And then also, this is all just work in progress. There is things that could be changed, could be removed. Way more things can be added. The randomness of these guards can even be changed up. So there's a ton of things that can be just completely changed by next time you see this. Murk has been working on this every day. There's sometimes I come home from work and Murk has an entirely different game for me to play, essentially. Oh yeah, another thing to note, it's a bad example for this. There's no dual wield because GoldenEye's multiplayer doesn't have dual wield. Unless you want to consider Axe's mod, but Axe's isn't base GE, as impressive as it is. But since we're just replicating exactly base GoldenEye, that one doesn't have dual wield in the multiplayer. Ignore these bots though, the bots are cheating. They're dual wields. But yeah, outside of that, I don't think there's too much more to demonstrate. So I may start wrapping it up. And then if there is anything else noteworthy of adding in, I may do more streams. Maybe show off some more progress that's being worked on. Things like that. But there is just a ton of really awesome stuff coming out for Perfect Dark, especially the PC port this year. I think this is genuinely probably our best year yet for Perfect Dark content. Got the all-in-one with, I think, one of its most expansive updates yet coming. Numerous other personal projects that are being worked on by amazing community members and even some outside people. Like there's a whole randomizer that's being in the works that completely randomizes nearly everything in the campaigns and stuff. There's this going on. There's a working netplay again. At one point, RMGK was working beautifully for Perfect Dark's multiplayer too, but RMGK seems to be having issues overall right now. But yeah, generally a lot of really, really awesome stuff this year. Do one more match. Let's do one more match with another GoldenEye level. Let's do some caves. Everyone's favorite level. Personally, this is one of my favorite levels in Rex packs. It makes caves brighter. Murk, one thing I may recommend as well is if there's a more in-depth thing that can be done with GoldenEye mode, maybe make it that some weapons secondary fires are their primary for it. This is a way better set to show off. One thing also to note, Murk, if you're still here, is the fact that when you dual wield, or technically you're supposed to be dual wielding weapons, you can't backpedal on the mouse scroll wheel. But yeah, as you can see, the invincibility frame stuff and the lack of a secondary fire and everything like that is working as intended, like working nearly perfectly. Another thing that may be added at some point too is the ability to customize your own menu music, so you don't have to hear this damn song every time you want to set up these menus, or if you're working on the project and you get sick of hearing it for the 50,000th time, you can actually be able to change this now. Not in this current branch, obviously, but you will be able to. So if there's a certain banger song that you will love to hear, you'll be able to hear it in these menus. Personally, I'd love to just hear this menu in the multiplayer. Yeah, I believe for the most part that is it. Just wanted to do a small stream, just wanted to do something. I'm glad that a lot of people tuned in. to view this whole work in progress. Genuinely just a really cool thing coming to the community. There's nothing else too much more I can say, but my thanks to Murk. Murk is a genuinely wonderful friend and amazing modder. Comes up with a really cool ideas, comes up with things for the community that nobody else has either bothered with or even thought of. He has helped out in numerous different things, and he is probably one of the coolest people I've ever met. So, you've done a wonderful job with this, Murk, and I'm excited to see where this goes in the future as well. And I hope more people can start looking into this, because this is genuinely a really cool project. But on that note, I will call it here. About like an hour and a half in. Pretty decent time. I may stream tomorrow. Something. I may even stream like way later tonight. But I do gotta head out for a bit. I gotta go grab some extra groceries and stuff like that. And I'll gladly be showing way more off on this. Feel free to check out my YouTube. My Redvox57 base YouTube is just for my VODs. Redvox57 Productions is where I put like the more edited videos. Just anything I feel like I put like a little bit more time into goes there. So you'll see more gameplay showcases of what's to come through my YouTube and everything like that. I will have some of the first recorded showcases of new features that may not be public and things like that, so please stay tuned for more. On that note, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and you take care. Bye-bye.